Games of the Inter-Services Rugby Championships. Hello, good morning and welcome to Kingsholm Stadium in Gloucester for the final two games of this year's Inter-Services Rugby Championship. First up, it's the Army against the RAF women, where the competition is still live and kicking. Here's what's happened so far.
A highly anticipated clash between the Royal Air Force and Royal Navy women's sides. Who will be the saints and who will be the sinners on a dry but breezy day in Northampton? Up like a flash, Lucy Nye, and look at that from Kim Grundy. That's absolutely fantastic from the left winger for the Royal Air Force, and celebrating there just ahead of the posts. Oh, and lovely from Nye, moving it out left, and Fahy has the try. And it's a try for the Royal Navy. Wonderful score there, Maura Douglas. And Lucy Nye gets ready to lift that trophy with her teammates. The Royal Air Force celebrate winning this match. The Navy will be hoping to bounce back from their 36-10 defeat to the Royal Air Force in the opening match in Northampton 2 weeks ago, as they enter the fray this afternoon. As Power going through to the try line there, and Courtney Perskov get there. She can indeed. Gilmore once again. She makes it once more. That's fantastic once more. 96 points to 0. The margin of victory for the British Army. They've been ruthless today. And another trophy lift for the British Army by their skipper and by Sarah Batley. Deserved winners today, 96 points to 0. A record victory for the British Army.
Now, perhaps the question on everyone's lips is, can the RAF recreate the glory of 2019 up against the strength and depth of the Army? The respective scorelines against the Royal Navy are, of course, in favour of the ladies in red, but the light blues have added some international star quality to the mix. Yesterday, Cy Hunter spoke to both camps at the Captain's Run.
What sort of things have you been doing in the lead up?
It's been all about recovery, making sure we feel fresh, the fittest we are coming into this camp, so we can nail all the mistakes that we made from the Navy game and make sure that we get it right this game.
We obviously saw as well what the RAF did against the Navy in the first match, which feels like a long time ago now as well. What do you think, Jade, about their threats across the pitch?
Yeah, they've got like a numerous amount of threats from the forward pack to their back line. Yeah, they're going to bring it to us tomorrow, and we just need to make sure that we front up challenger and make sure that they know we're here on the pitch with them and we're going to give them a battle, and that's what it's about. And hopefully we can showcase women's rugby and hopefully get more people to come watch us.
Courtney, what do you make of playing here? It's something you're familiar with anyway, but not just, I guess, the stadium, but synthetic surface for perhaps a bit of expansive rugby.
I think we all prefer this kind of ground because they're definitely better than the grass we go on, because the bounces of the ball, like you feel like you get an extra 10 miles per hour on a pitch like this, so definitely looking forward to playing on this.
I think we just left a lot out on the field against the Navy. We know that our sort of 1 to 23 is really, really strong. I think we came off a bit frustrated that we didn't necessarily get the points that we deserved. So we've just been working on being a little bit more clinical, probably a bit more physical. Again, we know the Army are a pretty physical team, and yeah, just going to take that to them.
I mean, every year they bring it to us. They come off that line so quickly. They're powerful. So we just got to match them this year, and hopefully we come out on top. I feel like we've been waiting ages for this game, but yeah, we're all ready. And I mean, this is always our favourite fixture of the year, and there's no better platform to play on, is there?
Kingsholm's amazing. It was my old club as Gloucester. I love being here. I love playing here. So it's exciting that the girls get to come see the stadium the day before, and then hopefully come out and win against the Army tomorrow.
And what makes that Gloucester rugby public special then? I mean, obviously a very knowledgeable rugby public, and hoping to get them, as you say, behind you too.
They just love the game, don't they? They love any rugby and good flowing rugby. So if we can go out and give them a bit of a spectacle, then hopefully they'll come back year and year again.
Now, I reckon we're in for 2 really tight games here at Kingsholm Stadium, so do stay with us. We're going to go up to our commentary team now, led by Simon Hunter and joined by the Royal Navy captain, Rose Dixon.
Thanks, Kath. Good morning, and a very warm welcome to every one of you joining us for this live coverage of a colossal clash, the title decider between the British Army and Royal Air Force women here at Kingsholm Stadium in Gloucester. The Army came here today to defend their title, having seen off the Navy challenge at Allianz Stadium, Twickenham, in the previous round. The RAF too got a win over the Navy in the opening match of the tournament and have high hopes of their first title since 2019. All players hoping to make their mark at a venue very familiar with the history books, of course. And what new stories will be written on this famous ground today? Well, it's a dry one, thankfully, today. Slight breeze with a good deal of sunshine expected a little later on, so the teams will be hoping to move the ball around a good bit and put on a show for those who've come here in attendance today. It's an absolute delight on commentary up in the gantry to be joined by the very experienced Navy skipper Rose Dixon. How are you doing? And thank you very much for joining us.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. Just really looking forward to today. It's always a good match. Like you say, the conditions are probably perfect. It's a dry day, but it's a bit cooler than it was last year. So expecting a fast game and a really tough match.
And a stadium, of course, a ground that you're familiar with too, Rose. I mean, what makes it a special place to play rugby here?
I just think the history, especially with the Gloucester Hartpury women and how successful they've been. It's a fantastic ground. Like you say, they've played here plenty of times, sort of within military rugby. UK Armed Forces 15s teams have also played here. So there's a nice amount of history there, and it's a fantastic pitch, fantastic location. So
brave one to call perhaps today, I think. These two teams it'll be absolutely fantastic to watch the styles that they employ today on the pitch, a synthetic surface as well. And with that dry weather, hoping to ship it around. We saw, I guess, their back threes, both back threes playing very well in the previous matches against the Royal Navy. Both packs, of course, with plenty of power, plenty of strength there as well. As we see the teams coming out, led by Jade Mullen of the British Army, Lucy Nye as well of the Royal Navy alongside. And those teams coming out, just hearing those cheers, hearing those roars, of course, as well. The crowd is building here beautifully up in Gloucester too. They know what's at stake here as well. It's an absolutely fantastic title decider. It's what we want at the end of a tournament. And what a final day we have in store as well. It's been a bit of a longer build-up, of course, to this match for the Royal Air Force after their exploits in Northampton against the Navy. And the British Army a couple of weeks ago lining out again at Allianz Stadium in Twickenham. And Jade Mullen just some sort of low fives there with her players. The RAF preferring to go for some arms around the shoulders as well. But Rose, I mean, when it comes to these matches and the pride that you have of putting on the Navy shirt, of course, in your case, at inter-service level, just describe what goes through your mind when you're lining out here.
Like you say, it's immense pride. You know, every time I step out with that Navy shirt on, it feels like the first time I ever played in it, in this kind of the feelings that I have and the pride that I feel, and it's always just so exciting. It's never the same 23, and it's just incredible experience, and you can't not be smiling when you do it.
And what about going through the tunnel? I mean, what about that adrenaline? I'm sure that you have those maybe some butterflies at times as well.
Yeah, definitely. And when you're in that tunnel, you can really feel the excitement from your own team and from the other team, because you're often stood next to them. Weird to be in such close proximity as sometimes in the tunnel as your opposition, but it's just an absolutely incredible atmosphere and something that I know that every single player here on the pitch in the Navy squad is just loves. It's just so incredible. So yeah, I can imagine there's a bit of nerves, a bit of excited energy out there, but we know that both teams are very good outfits and they're going to be absolutely ready for that.
And, you know, looking across the services, joining you across the services, you know, Jade Mullen and Lucy Nye as well, and Sarah Graham-Jenkins today, co-captaining with her. Such a wealth of leadership. It must make it even more special to be able to lead your team out there, and having done it in previous years too.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a complete honour to be asked to not just play and put the shirt on, but to then be asked to lead the team out in some really incredible fixtures. It's, like I say, yeah, an absolute honour, and no one will be taking that moment for granted. I know Lucy and Jade won't be doing it, and they put everything into it as well. There's plenty of leaders out on that pitch. I'd argue that everyone in the military is a leader in some form. You know, Daisy Fahy, co-captain of the UCAF Sevens team as well. So there's loads of leaders out there, and each one of them does kind of their job fantastically.
Yeah, just seeing the officials meeting the dignitaries there, and some handshakes. And the players just getting themselves G'd up, of course, moments away from kick-off here at Kingsholm. And interesting, I guess, Rose, as well, to figure out, something we'll get into plenty during the game, those different styles, how I guess both teams as well have been analysing the other and figuring out what they want to do today.
Oh yeah, absolutely. There would have been some intense analysis going on in both camps, and kind of the way both teams play, it's exciting. They both want to hit it up the middle and look to release their wingers and their speedsters out the back. Again, mentioning Daisy Fahy's got a fantastic boot on her, and she will be looking for that territory, especially if the wind's in their favour, especially on a fast pitch like this. And then equally, the Army have got some very, very strong forwards up front and really work well off each other's shoulders with those offloads. So they're really going to be looking to exploit those, what they've got within their team, really.
And as someone who knows very well the midfield, as a centre many times yourself, how important will that centre battle be today when you look at the likes of Williams and Carr in the British Army, looking at Orla Proctor and Karis Morris too? I mean, that's going to be very important to, I guess, close down the space that you're mentioning out wide.
Oh yeah, exactly. 4 very, very seasoned centres, very good centres, and they know their job and they know it well, and they play incredibly well together respectively. So exactly that. It was one of our kind of going into the game in Northampton, it was, we absolutely need to shut down Karis and Orla because we know exactly what they're capable of. So the Army will be thinking the same and vice versa. So it'll be a very interesting match-up in those centres.
Yeah, fascinating one to come here. And the players, speaking to them at captain's run, a few of them yesterday, and the coaching staff as well, just saying that they pretty much felt ready to go last week, really. You know, I think earlier in the week with all the training that's gone on, especially at this end of the tournament, you know, this sort of business end for these two teams in terms of the title defence for the Army and the RAF going at it for the first time, trying to get their first title since 2019. So very exciting. And we'll be back with you in comms very shortly. National anthem coming right up. and applause ringing out in Gloucester. The players walking towards the halfway line. And time to look at the teams lining out here today. And the Army, first of all, what a proud day for hooker Ray Metters, winning her 40th cap, something unmatched across the women's and men's competition. She's in there with the experience and power of Sarah Batley and Sophie Benevent in the front row, marshalled by the ever-present Jade Mullen, Williams and Carr, as you say, Rose in midfield. And what of that back three? Kilmore, Tweddle and Pursglove as well, pulling the strings with the boot, looking to create those problems out wide. And for the Royal Air Force, well, they welcome back Scotland international Sarah Bonner to the fold after her Six Nations exploits. She's playing blindside today, wearing the number 1 shirt today. Lucy Nye and Sarah Graham-Jenkins co-captaining that light blue family, as they talk about, from the halfbacks. And what an exciting prospect as well, England under-20, Daisy Aspinall on the right wing. But what of Ray Metters? I mean, you know what it's like to get your body ready, to get your mind ready, Rose, for these clashes, to do it for your 40th time. I mean, wow.
Oh, I mean, it's an incredible feat. I met Ray Metters when I first started playing sort of senior rugby, and then to see just kind of how far she's come and how far she's taken that, it's just incredible. And she hasn't had an easy ride. She's had a fair few injuries in her journey, so absolutely hats off to her. 40 caps is exceptional work.
Congratulations to her. And Daisy Fahey, as you mentioned, her prowess with the boot, ready to get us underway here in the deciding match of the women's inter-service this year. And that ball just gathered in there calmly. Looking back, Lucy Nye under that. And just going through the hands, rather, and Hannah Gilmore racing after it. And the pace that we've seen in recent weeks. Trying to get through there. And ref just calling a halt to proceedings. And hopefully, I think it's Freya Gracie just hopefully she's all right. Getting some medical attention, but well, a bit of a frenetic start there, Rose, and Gilmore once again showing that pace on anything loose.
Yeah, absolutely. She put the pressure on right away. I think that's Lucy Nye on the floor, and that's not something we want to see 5 seconds into this game. She's absolutely pivotal in this team, so hoping that she's back on her feet in a second. But yeah, like you say, it was a lovely kick-off, but a lovely return, unfortunately. Just misjudged that one a little bit, and yeah, the pressure put on by the Army was fantastic there.
Good to see her back to her feet. I think it will be an RAF put in here at the scrum. But I mean, how difficult does she make it for you? I mean, that speed of service when you're facing up against her, Lucy Nye. We know her sevens pedigree as well. How tricky is it to face up to her?
Oh, she's a menace. She's an absolute pest. I hope she doesn't mind me saying that. Sorry, Lucy. But no,
she's no choice.
Yeah. No. She's fantastic. She's quick on the ball. She's always looking up. I've said it before. If you give her half an inch of space, she will look to snipe and to go. So, yeah, exactly what you want from a 9 really is just to be that pest, but also to provide that really good platform.
Well, the RAF winning the penalty here. Nye with the ball in her hands, just chatting to her troops, and Daisy Fahey coming over, presumably to get that ball into touch and make a bit of a gain. I know there's been a lot made of the kicking between these two sides. Courtney Pursglove, of course, often doing the honours for the British Army. Fahey putting that ball down the field and into the opposition half. Well, someone, you're going back to Lucy Nye there, someone I'm sure you love playing with, we'll talk later about IDRC, but at UCAF level 2.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I say, she's quick off the ball. She constantly just wants to go and keep that ball alive, and it's fantastic to play with.
And Annie Forbes getting a bit of treatment that she often dishes out to others. Annie Forbes there being bundled right back, and very good from the Army in defence, holding on in the tackle, and ref calls the penalty.
Yeah, very. Annie's a very strong player, strong runner, and again was a real pest when we played against her. She was fantastic. So you can see how well the Army have done there.
A line out here for the Army side, and it's been taken by the RAF. Sarah Bonner there in the scrum cap and the number 1 shirt, and Sarah Graham-Jenkins looking to tidy up a little. Lucy Nye assessing her options, and Fahey in the backfield just pushing that back to her opposite number, but the ball just bouncing a little awkwardly for Pursglove. And Tweddle on the right wing today, and a nice step inside. Gemma Pearson. Right to Williams in the number 12 shirt. And that again, and now Sophie Benevent just shoving off the challenge there from, it looked like Ella Johnson. But the ball's moving on, and Ray Messers here in her 40th appearance, and gaining more ground. A nice little grubber put in there by Jade Mullen, and two of the Army's back three. That's wonderful from Fahy. An absolutely dominant handoff there. And a little box over the top. Lucy Nye trying to get her side out of dodge a little bit there. And Kim Grundy up like a flash on Millie Williams. And Army once again trying to chew up more territory and go through the phases.
Yeah, that little offload there, really well read by Tyler Lewis, and just managed to stop the Army dead on the gain line.
And Pearson trying to get a good quick ball here. Measures again.
I mean, that speaks for her work rate. She's gone from 15 over the other side of the pitch and 15 all the way back to this side.
Komitai, it's what we love to see. And Sarah Batley, fresh from her swan diving exhibit at Twickenham, and getting that ball out now to player of the match in that game, Lauren Brooks. And Pearson looking for numbers, and RAF up quick there on Jade Mullen. Pearson now going the other way, and Benevent looking to bounce off more defenders again. Sophie Benevent. Advantage being played to the Army. Very nice there. Komitai looking for space and trying to move inside to get past Daisy Fahy. Just inches away now from the try line, and they've scored. The British Army in the opening stages of this match. What a fantastic start, and coming away with the points, converting that opportunity that they've been looking to get early on in this game.
Yeah, absolutely. I think one thing that the RAF are probably saying behind those posts is that we want tackles to be lower. Again, on top of that, something I spoke about earlier, the Army love sort of to get that offload in when it's half a tackle, and that is proof in the pudding there in how well they do that.
Yeah, what looked very impressive last time out against the Navy at Allianz Stadium was just all those offloads, as you allude to, Rose, and the forwards getting in on the act, really, and always having, seemingly anyway, a player on both shoulders.
Yeah, absolutely. And like you say, from experience, it's incredibly hard to defend. You know, you end up defending on the back foot, which is why those kind of front up tackles are incredibly important. But saying that, you know, Combs, she's an absolute beast of a player. She's incredibly strong, and she's very quick as well. So very hard to defend that.
Pursglove looking to add to 2 points, which she does. The Army have a 7-0 lead in the early stages of this game at Kingsholm. And the RAF under pressure. And the Army just reminding their opposition here what they can do with half a sniff. Give them a little half gap to run through. And Combs, as you say, Rose, Komitai just making it count. A deep kick-off this time. And he's letting that ball bounce there. Looks as if it's come off the hand of Pearson. And it has gone forward.
The RAF are going to be very happy about that, I think, as well. Daisy Fahy's probably going to be very happy. She's found grass again, and nobody wants a bouncing ball.
That's where the RAF will be wanting to play, and therein lies the beauty of having a Daisy Fahy to get the ball deep. And yeah, what a brilliant attacking opportunity for the Royal Air Force here. An opportunity to respond straight away as well. Yeah, both packs impressive as well in terms of the power, but the amount that they're wanting to play rugby, and looking at on the RAF side of things, having Bonner, Forbes and Johnson who played so well too up in Northampton. Well, that's what a fill-up for them in terms of loose forwards.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Very good pack, and then you look, Kim Grundy's right out here in the 15. Well held by Lucy Nye.
She's going to find that space indeed, and what a fantastic score. Daisy Aspinall, the England under-20, and as you say, that space was found, and the RAF have responded straight away, And what a way to do it. Lucy Nye using all her nous and taking it blind there. Fantastic stuff.
Yeah, what Lucy does really well is fix defenders. People know she's a dangerous player with ball in hand, so she does really well to keep them fixed on her, and then a fantastic pass, a nines pass, and she can put people in.
And as we thought this battle would become, it looks as if it's going to be back and forth today. And what a treat we're in for. Daisy Fahey just waiting for a kicking tee, I think. Yeah. Eagerly being brought on the field now. And the crowd building as well. Those 2 tries warmly received by those here in Gloucester. You realise the quality as well on show. And the quality of this contest. And tricky old angle for a right-footed kicker, of course, on that far side. Hasn't quite got the right angle or the distance, but nevertheless, just 2 points in it so far. 7 points to 5. The British Army lead the Royal Air Force here at Kingsholm. And Courtney Pursglove marching back to the halfway line to get the restart going. A relatively short one, and Sarah Bonner gathers. If we'll see any interceptions from her today, like we did against Ireland in the Women's Six Nations.
Oh, that was fantastic. That was brilliant.
And the boot as well after. Hoofing it down the field, that was brilliant. As the ball just goes over the top there. And a little bit of a knock-on, I think, from Millie Williams. Yep, it'll be an RAF put in. So another interesting opportunity for them.
Yeah, again, they've managed to find grass again. And again, I'll repeat what I said. It's so much harder to pick up a bouncing rugby ball. And the RAF are doing very well in finding grass here and just kind of forcing that mistake, I guess.
Sarah Bonner talking about that moment very recently, in fact, and saying that she knew that 1 or 2 backs were on her shoulders, so she decided put the boot in, get the ball down the field, and let them deal with the rest of it. This is always amusing to hear.
Exactly, and proof once again she had the talent to back it up. So no, it was brilliant.
Lucy Nye putting that ball in for the RAF, and Ella Johnson moving around the back and getting out tonight, who's trying to create a bit of space here out in the right again. Daisy Aspinall using that pace, and Gilmore on the far side doing well to get her brought down in the end. But the RAF making more ground here and edging ever closer. Moving out now, Graham Jenkins to Emma Tadman, who's playing in the second row today. You know how she's been in the back row as well of late. And the ball just being spilled a bit there, a bit loose from the Royal Air Force, just being moved back outside that Army 22.
I think that really speaks to the Army's defence. They are very hot on their defence, straight up off that line, and they really put the pressure on. And I think you've seen a little bit of that pressure come through with in this kind of phase of play, with the RAF just going backwards. Be nice to see them kind of reset, settle down. Oh,
turnover here, and the Army have it. And looking to her options there, Gemma Pearson, but earning the penalty, and I think not rolling away. Emma Tadman just being pinged there.
I think the RAF will be a little bit disappointed with that, considering just how close they were to another 5 or even 7 points. But we'll see what they do with this.
And the ball finds touch in the end. A few hopeful shirts there, RAF shirts, thinking it might stay in, but be a line out for the Army, pretty much just behind halfway. And the sun's coming out as well, and warming up this surface, as we know it tends to do on the synthetic stuff. But referee saying not straight. Free kick to the Royal Air Force. And what's been interesting as well has been how much back and forth there has been, not just in terms of the scores, Rose, but opportunities not quite being taken, and turnovers coming, and also a bit of ill discipline maybe, as Annie Forbes tries to bundle up the middle there. Tyler Lewis, that great scrum cap there. And Graham Jenkins looking outside her, and Mullen doing very well to track down Morris. But I tell you what, she's done very well herself to march the defender back. A little bit over the top. Pursglove has it tracked down under pressure from Lucy Nye, and gets the boot away. And
this is where I'd really like to see the RAF try and spin it out wide. You can see the RAF's overlap here. They've got numbers on.
Forbes are going to get that ball out.
Lovely work.
And Aspinall again. She's been very busy so far. The ref just saying that went forward. So, but the pace on show already from Daisy Aspinall.
Yeah, absolutely. And Caris and Sarah Bonner there had the right idea, you know, to have the vision when you're under pressure chasing the ball back to look up and see that space out wide. They've done exactly the right thing. Unfortunate with the forward pass. But yeah, with Daisy Aspinall's footwork and speed, if that was just an inch backwards, we would have been all right.
You could almost feel it as if you were on the pitch. And Mullen there, and that's a lovely line from Amy Carr. Very nice angle.
Again there, lovely line from Amy Carr, and with Jade back on the inside on her shoulder. Incredible support work, and it just keeps the RAF on the back foot, keeps the Army going forward.
Nice speed. And there goes Pearson as well. Mullen getting ever closer.
Jade Mullen again.
She's everywhere.
She's everywhere.
And Komatai doing her bit. Heidi Silcox using that vast experience. And Benevent.
You can see the Army are quite narrow here as well. They're really trying to pull the RAF in, probably to then release their wingers, but...
Well, they've just scored again, the British Army. That pressure once again telling. So impressive the way they're converting their opportunities when they get into that 22 and into that red zone, as we like to speak of. Wonderful stuff. And Lauren Brooks, fresh from her Player of the Match performance at Allianz Stadium, Twickenham, picking up where she left off.
Yeah, that's incredible work rate from the Army. They just went and went and went. Very quick ball. Doesn't give the RAF too much of an opportunity to set. Kept going forwards and were rewarded.
Just a bit more daylight once again in the scoreline as Pursglove lines up to take a shot at goal. The conversion, 12-5, the Army leading, and giving themselves a bit more of a cushion once again after that RAF response. And it's good from Pursglove. 14 points to 5, the British Army leads. And very nice from Lauren Brooks. A lovely angle from Amy Carr, a player playing in a shirt you're very familiar with, that number 13 jersey.
Oh yeah, fantastic line, and she's got this ability to, the second she's got her hands on the ball, step it up a gear, and it's really hard to defend. But yeah, no, found a perfect line and beautifully given by Jade and straight through.
Fahey with the restart and getting it fairly deep again. And two players, it looked like Heidi Silcox there and Millie Williams just colliding almost. And well, that's a little sloppy from the Army in the restart. So the RAF, almost carbon copy of their response opportunity before, have another good attacking opportunity.
Yeah, it's a shame from an Army perspective. They know the ball's going there, but just can't quite seem to figure it out on that catch. But the RAF are doing probably the exact right thing, as what the coaches would say, and keep putting it there until they...
Seeing Aspinall loitering on that far wing. And oh, well, that's for the RAF, that's unfortunate, and fortunate for the British Army. And yeah, just a few spillages here in the handling. Obviously both sides are going to play that high tempo, and I guess at times with that high tempo comes a bit more pressure with some of those quick offloads and passes.
Absolutely. I think when you're in a scrum and the Army are in the defensive scrum and you've got all that pressure on you, like you say, you want to play at a high tempo, but it can force the errors a little bit more. The RAF will be disappointed, but we'll see what they come back with in defence.
And just having a moment to catch our breath here at Kingsholm. 14 points to 5, the Army leads. And do let us know where you're watching. Great to have you with us today. BFBS Forces News YouTube channel. wherever you are today, whether it be in Gloucester, further afield in the UK, or indeed around the world, let us know. We'll endeavour to read some of your shout-outs as well during the game, as Williams finds Morris. And Pearson to Mullen again. Mullen once again able just to find a little bit of territorial gain. Benevent again. I mean, that power has been so clear to see from moment one.
Yeah, incredibly strong player, strong runner.
And the RAF just trying to keep the Army pinned back here in their 22 and try and force a few errors. Amy Carr again. And Pearson just under a bit of pressure there from the RAF counter ruck. That's nice work from Elise Fletcher. And Mullen putting the boot in, just slightly off the outside really of the boot, and well, Grundy and Fahy almost colliding, trying to keep that in and pedal up very quickly for the Army, and trying to jackal as best she can Daisy Fahy, and great work there from the RAF, but that was a little knock on, and the Army will have the put in.
Yeah, again, that's just communication. You've got to put a name on that ball, and you've got to own it when you do. If you do put a name on it, someone else may have to move out of the way for you. It's a very difficult situation to be, especially when someone who wants to catch it is coming from behind because you can't see them. But yeah, just keeping that communication high. Well recovered, and an unfortunate knock on there. But
well, the 2-9s have been busy today with their put-ins to the scrums. And Lucy Nye brilliant again, just putting that pressure on her opposite number. And the Army just, well, finding that pressure tricky to deal with. And right winger Charlotte Tweddle just getting it sort of a half, maybe a quarter gap. And Comatai, look at that, fantastic from Comatai, finding space in the middle here and trying to burn Kim Grundy on the outside. The RAF winger not able to keep her back. And what a fantastic score from the British Army number 8. Well, that is just brilliant with ball in hand.
oh yeah, she's such a versatile player. She's strong, she's quick, got a little bit of a step on her. You can't argue with that. Yeah, very good player.
Well, we saw a bit of everything there, didn't we? I mean, the power, the agility, a bit of a turn of pace as well, and trying to keep back Kim Grundy on the left wing. We know the speed she has. That was absolutely fantastic from Comms. Well, it's been a game you can't take your eyes off at all so far. And the Army scoring their third try in this early phase of the game.
Yeah, absolutely. When you look at it, it's been very end-to-end. It's been a really good watch, but unfortunately the RAF are getting to the Army's end and just not converting those points at the last minute. Whereas you look at it the other way, the Army are getting up there and they're coming away with points. So I think that's something that the RAF will probably be talking about at the moment.
Yeah, they're looking up and very aware of where the space is developing and creating that space as well. I mean, speaking of Comatai and her score just now, as we see, and hopefully she's all right. Charlotte Tweddle just getting some medical treatment and coming off. I hope she's okay. And Pursglove trying to curl that one around. It just pushed it a little. So the score remains at 19 points to 5. Very healthy lead for the British Army.
Yeah, that's unfortunate for Charlotte Tweddle there. Should be gutted with that. Hopefully nothing too serious.
Just well, good to see the applause there and respect and admiration for the part she's played so far. It's never nice to see any player coming off at any stage, let alone at this stage of the game. So we wish her well. And she's in the hands of the medical team there as we go for another restart, and ball just going back. Lucy Nye trying to track it and use some of that pace, and that's an absolutely ferocious hit there from Hannah Gilmore.
Yeah, good, well-timed hit, unfortunately just a little bit too high. So penalty for the RAF there.
Another opportunity for an RAF response. And Fahy will get as much tight enough angle, but try and get as much ground as she can make. And once again, they're pretty much up to the Army's 22. And can they do what the Army has done so far in, as you say, Rose, converting those opportunities when they're in that red zone? And well, they'll be asking themselves that, and what's this game to play? It's gone a bit long. The ball is bouncing back towards the RAF side of things, but referee is saying knock on first from the RAF, and it'll be an Army put in.
No, I think they're going to be a bit frustrated with that, but they go again. Let's see what they've got in defence.
Yeah, another Army put in. And familiar territory as well. It seems that every few minutes we look up, and there have been quite a few scrums so far in that region of the pitch. RAF doing their best just to shunt the Army pack back, but midfield, centre is doing a good job. Williams here doing a very good job of making good ground. And Mullen again, the ever-present, actually Ray Measures, I must say. Apologies. Ray in her 40th appearance. Oh, and that's ferocious. That's Annie Forbes once again. And Brooks. And Benevent here. Almost taking defenders with her as she marches them back. Ball in hand. Oh, and a wonderful, wonderful stuff from Aspinall. Can't quite hold on there, that interception. Oh, but that's the danger that lurks out there on that side.
Yeah, absolutely. Fantastic. And actually, I think it was knocked on by an Army player, so the RAF will get the ball back for that. I think that's really exciting. I want to see her keep playing with that kind of ambition and that kind of let's go. Because, yeah, without that knock-on from the Army, I think she may well have been through there.
Yeah, Lucy Nye. Nye with the put in. And quick delivery once again. And Fahy being a distributor there. And Kim Grundy on this near wing. Moving inside and always looking for plenty of work to move inside, Kim Grundy. Like any good winger does. And Forbes trying to hand off red defence. And trying to get quick ball here again now. Morris, just very quick and flat to Tyler Lewis. And ball looked as if it had gone forward there, but we're playing on. Oh, and lovely from Nye inside. Lovely little step there, finding the space. And only doing well just to hold her back there. And Sarah Bonner inching ever closer.
Yeah, so this is great speed from the RAF. As I was saying before, they're keeping the Army on the back foot.
Oh, referee is coming back, I think, for the penalty there. Yeah, keeping him on that back foot. And trying to offload, just not quite reaching some of those hands there. Some very quick passes, as they are up quite flat as well, aren't they?
Yeah, absolutely. But I like the ambition. The Army are a very hard team to play against when they're in defence. They're incredible in defence. So I like the ambition of just trying to kind of play on top, as I call it.
I like the phrase. It's a fascinating moment here. What the RAF got as Fahy lines up to put the ball into the corner. Yeah, going to try and utilise the experience of the likes of Sarah Bonner in that line out, in that pack. And see how much of a shove on they can get here. So close to the line too. And indeed it goes to Bonner. Trying to get that rolling maul moving here, the Royal Air Force. And how much closer can they get? Can they get over here, the Royal Air Force? And the ref coming back. I think there might be a card here. Just an infringement there. We're certainly speaking to Jade Mullen just to make sure everything's in order. That's the pressure being exerted.
I think that's the card coming out.
And the card does indeed come out. It looks like Gemma Pearson, I think, scrum half, who's been sin-binned. Ball back into touch, and the RAF can go again.
Yeah, the Army aren't going to like that. 9, very pivotal player on the pitch, so they're not going to be very happy with that, but conversely the RAF probably will be.
The ball's just a bit long. Opportunity for the Army to try and clean up here. And chipping that ball out. Thumping challenge again, and good charge down there. And well, we're going back to the spot of that penalty. And the RAF keeping the pressure on nicely here, Rose Dixon, but just going, I think that ball just being lost forward, and will it be another exit for the Army?
Yeah, it looks like the Army had the scrum advantage there, and gave Courtney Pursglove kind of the opportunity to try and get rid of it, but it didn't go her way, and they can still come back and get the scrum, so they're all right, but we'll see what they do with it here.
Pursglove now playing scrum half in the absence of Pearson.
Yeah, I think she's played there a few times for the Army, so it won't be completely out of pocket for her, but we'll see how she gets on for the next 10 minutes.
A very versatile player, Pursglove, and the RAF. And a penalty here for the British Army. It's a wonderful exit for them, despite that yellow card.
Yeah, they'll just look for Millie Williams here to take a bit of the pressure off, get them up the park a little bit.
And we'll head down pitch side now. Kath Brazier is with a very special guest in the RAF camp.
Pids, so here we are. I mean, the scoreline tells one story, but actually, I mean, it's been a lot of possession for the RAF so far. What are you feeling in camp at the moment?
Yeah, I mean, we fully expected a fast start from the Army. They're physical, they've got some really, really good ball carriers, so we didn't expect anything less. We've shown our opportunities out wide, but we'll be disappointed with how we are. I mean, what's the score now? We've got 30 minutes, 2 tries in it. We'll back ourselves and come out better.
It's a really strong start. What you want to do is try and match the Army for their strength, and you did that to begin with. But I like the line out you're using. Obviously, you've got Bonner back in the mix, and you're using that to your strength.
Yeah, I mean, her expertise there. She's a real line out north, self-proclaimed, but it just helps give us a bit more energy, and also helps learning with the team as well, bringing her experience to the fold.
So what do you need to do? You've got 10 minutes remaining of this half, and then obviously a whole other half. A lot can change. We've seen it happen. Just need to keep pushing.
Yeah, stick to our game plan, utilise our real pace, our back three, our lightning, and we just need to front up.
Okay, thanks very much. We'll see you later.
Thank you.
Thanks, Kath, there with Rebecca Piddleson. And Kath Brazier there with Rebecca Piddleson of the Royal Air Force, and just talking about that speed they want to utilise. And Lucy and I in the build-up to the very first game in this tournament, in fact, talking about some unreal pace they wanted to unleash. And we've seen, certainly from Daisy Aspinall today, some of that so far. And the Army in the last few moments there just showing how strong they are in defence. Jade Mullen everywhere in attack, everywhere in defence too, as Williams puts the boot in. A little bit of space here for Hannah Gilmore, and Fahy tracking across to cover it. That's lovely. A ball's bounced well for her there, Gilmore. Trying to ride out of that Aspinall challenge. And looking for support as Fahy comes up, but is pinged for that. And in from the side, and Army take it quickly here.
Yeah, lovely kick. Good depth, good touch. And yeah, right into the hands of their winger. So not only that, they've got the penalty advantage as well, I think.
Mullen there just sensing an opening. Not quite getting through that blue wall. They keep moving up the British Army. A woman down temporarily. Of course, that sin binning of Gemma Pearson. But they move up nonetheless. And Benevent, well, who'd want to try and challenge her at the moment? That's lovely. And Amy Carr there, hitting the line at pace again, Amy Carr.
Yeah, so we'll go back to the penalty advantage here, and I think he's going to have a word with Lucy Nye.
The referee just keeping order here. I'm not afraid to lay down the law, the referee. And do let us know where you're watching from. Craig Tilley has been across the comments. Who have you heard from so far, Craig?
Thank you, Si. Well, fantastic to see so many people here at Kingsholm, but there's plenty of you watching at home on our live stream as well. Daniel James on YouTube says, watching from Hartlepool, love both these services. I spent time as a cadet in both. Well, thank you for that comment, Daniel. On Facebook, Annette Tadman says, Mum and Dad watching RAF number 5, Emma Tadman, watching live from Devon. Thank you, Annette. And Kaz Persglove, excuse me. Go Army, go my girl, Courtney Persglove. Fantastic support for the Army fullback there. So continue to let us know where you're watching from on the BFBS Forces News YouTube channel and on Facebook. Simon.
Thank you, Craig. And mightily close again, the British Army. Great to hear those family links. Of course, we know how special it is for the players, and special here for the Army if they can get another try. And putting that pressure on again. The RAF defending earnestly. Close to the upright here. And trying to use that power to get over. Still just held up short. It's very good from the RAF defence so far. But eventually they get there, and fantastic stuff from the British Army. It's Komitai once again. She's been pivotal at number 8, and just stretching over there, Rose, to get over that whitewash.
Yeah, fantastic. I think the last couple of phases have been really well worked from the Army. First with the kick, then receiving the penalty, then the penalty advantage, and they've just taken advantage of those opportunities and played quick, played on top, and tried to keep the RAF on the back foot. Unfortunate for the RAF. I'm sure they were trying to regroup that now, but yeah, fantastic from comms.
Yeah, a lot of pressure now on the scoreboard. Persglove looking to take this deficit to 21 points with the conversion attempt. In his first half at Kingsholm. But we've witnessed some fantastic rugby so far from both sides. The Army converting more often than their Air Force opponents. First Club's just having to wait a little bit, but she gets through in the end. And another 2 points to take it to 26 points to 5. Just over 5 minutes to go in this first half at Kingsholm. And the British Army, well, they've been mightily impressive so far. Yeah, that 21 points there, really giving them a very nice cushion as they look towards the interval. Yeah, ball just taken by Silcox. And the support runners and those forwards coming into the ruck have been just present so much today for the Army. And moving that ball wide. That pass looked a little flat, but it was deemed okay, it seems. And the Army still have it, but not so much.
Sarah Bonner's hands in the air there. And then a very quick apology to the referee, but she was right. And she's done very well there in the tackle as well.
Yes, Sarah Bonner in the number 1 shirt today, of course, playing blindside. That scrum cap. What a busy time of it she's had. What a brilliant year and a busy year for women's rugby. A brilliant Six Nations. It's been a great tournament in inter-service, reminding everyone of how good military rugby is. And the quality on show once again here today. That's Johnson. It's been a little quiet of late. But back into and Nye spotting an opportunity here. Aspinall herring up. And Morris as well. And Gilmore under a lot of pressure, but gathers well. It's good pressure from the RAF. Purse glove. Oh, that's just skewed a bit off her boot. And Fahey, her opposite number, under a bit of pressure from Sam West. And now looking for numbers out there. Tadman had defenders right up in her face as she gathered that. And the ball's gone back to the red shirts.
Yeah, I think that little kick over the top by Lucy, a different bounce, and it probably would have gone back to the RAF hands, but they've got the ball back.
Now Grundy here, and moving inside as she does so well, Kim Grundy. Scorer of a fantastic try at Northampton against the Navy. And the Army have been cognizant of her threat. They've been keeping her as quiet as they can. But Lucy Nye, ever a menace, as you say, around the ruck.
She won't let me forgive that.
Just a reminder.
Yes. No, I think the RAF done really well to hold on to that ball there. The Army did well to recognise that Lucy was still on her way, blasted through that ruck, and eventually the RAF came out with the ball. But I think that was quite lucky and well recognised by the Army as well.
Oh, another card being shown, another sin binning. This time Sophie Benevent, who's been pivotal for the Army going forward here. Very tough to take down Sophie Benevent. Pearson's back on the pitch, but the Army once again back to 14 women. And an opportunity here, just as we head towards half-time, for the Royal Air Force.
Yeah, it would be nice to see the RAF capitalise on this now. They've spent a lot of time in the Army 22, so I'm sure they're desperate to come away with some points. But especially with one of their Army forwards missing, hopefully they can get what they want.
Line out goes to Bonner, and that rolling maul comes on again. Lou Langton at the back of it, sensing an opportunity here. With a bit of an advantage, and they roll on ever further, the Royal Air Force. And Lucy Nye getting over the whitewash, dotting that ball down over the line. Fantastic try, and that pressure telling. And they'll be thinking the comeback is on.
Yeah, really well worked by the RAF, and as you say, Lou Langton at the back. I think this is her last game of military rugby, so I'm sure she was loving it in that maul there. But again, well worked by Lucy. Snuck around the outside. Like I said, she's a menace.
Well, if you were worried about her knowing, we've certainly ruled out any possibility of her not hearing now. About 3 or 4 mentions. You've only yourself to blame, but yeah, Daisy Fahey lining up a conversion attempt. Just for a minute to go in this first half. Ball just curling round, and that's nicely done from Fahey. It's a good kick, and just flirting with that far post, but the ball coming around there, and 26 points to 12. The RAF adding those 7 points, and crucially answering the red shirts back just before half time.
Yeah, that's exactly what the RAF are going to want just before half time. They're also going to want to keep the Army out now.
Ball doesn't look as if it had gone 10, but it's deemed okay.
Yeah, that's something else the Army do really well. They like a short kick to try and compete for the ball. It can be really successful.
No, he's been great with her box kicks today. And Williams has been doing plenty of kick returns as well from her number 12 shirt. Mullen. And lots made, of course, of Mullen's leadership and her ability to pierce those gaps, but her physicality is right up there too, as is that of Sarah Batley, we've seen for many a year in Army colours, and the ever experienced as well Heidi Silcox. Pearson out to Mullen. Well, the RAF up very quickly there through Sarah Bonner, who's got the ball back for the Royal Air Force. It's a horrible little bouncing ball for Graham Jenkins to gather, but they clean it up. Morris out here to Orla Proctor. And Fahy out to Grundy. Back inside to the fullback.
Some really lovely offloads there from the RAF. You can tell they're getting excited.
Yeah, Elise Fletcher. Score of that first try in Northampton against the Navy.
That was some great defence from Heidi Silcox as well. Come flying out the line, put them under loads of pressure.
A little switching going on there between Lucy Nye and Morris. But Aspinall, once again, an opportunity to open the taps, but ball just going out into touch. And the referee calls it. Half-time in this match. An enterprising one full of great rugby. Plenty of quality from both sides. The Army, they'll be happy with their lead. 26 points to 12. Royal Air Force with that most recent try as well. They'll be buoyed by that. They'll be going in hoping to come out firing as soon as the second half starts. And, well, in that great year for women's rugby, as we mentioned, Rose Dixon, we've had a great Six Nations. This tournament's been spectacular. We've got the Women's World Cup, of course, in the autumn. And in between that, the IDRC, the International Defence Rugby Competition, effectively the Military Rugby World Cup, held on these shores, UCAF being the hosts. As someone who has participated in that competition, the IDRC, why is it so special?
I think just the opportunity to play rugby for UCAF is incredible, and then to play it on a stage where you're playing against other forces from all over the world, and you get to meet people who are in such a similar position to you, but from so many miles away. It's a really strange feeling to kind of hear everyone else's experiences of their defence forces, and yeah, just getting to meet everyone and seeing the standard that they play in their force. I think it's just a really eye-opening experience, and like I say, incredibly exciting, a fantastic year for women's rugby, and just an opportunity for us as female rugby players in the military to do something fantastic.
And as you say about the Gloucester rugby public, we mentioned earlier just how much of a rugby-loving public it is here at Kingsholm, the final being at Kingsholm, and many great grounds and great venues across the competition, which would be brilliant to see. BFBS Forces News bringing you coverage of the competition. A great opportunity as well, with all the fever pitch, with all the sort of the hype at the moment following that Six Nations and looking ahead to the World Cup as well. Great opportunity to get the crowds out and really enjoying the rugby that they're going to see in the IDRC.
Yeah, definitely, and there will be a huge drive for that. I think it's a really good opportunity to recruit people into service sport, into women's rugby within the military. So there's just a lot of opportunities that can be taken from this, and loads of things that we can really drive forward just to better the game, not just for us in the military, but for women's rugby altogether. Nice,
I guess, as well. You've had plenty of experience playing with players from across the services, but also to link up and play against different styles across the world. We know that there's many different lovely styles of rugby that are played out there, players who've grown up, I guess, approaching the game a little differently. That's great too, isn't it, to showcase all the ways in which this magnificent game can be played.
Yeah, I think when you're from an environment where you've grown up playing rugby in a specific way, be it a very set piece or a set game, and then you come against a team that play completely different to you, you walk on that pitch thinking you know what to expect, and then something completely different comes at you, and it's very good, but it's also like, okay, how do I react to this? And there's an awful lot of having to react in that moment, because like you say, not every nation plays rugby exactly the same. We all have our different ideas of how the game should be played. So getting to kind of experience that on that level again is just amazing. And I take it back to a couple of years ago when we were in New Zealand and playing against Fiji.
Not
it was
a bad place.
Yeah, subtle brag. But yeah, playing against Fiji, it was just incredible. You know, their style of rugby is absolutely brilliant, and so hard to defend, and we really had to adjust to keep ourselves in that.
Well, the draw was made a couple of weeks ago at Allianz Stadium, Twickenham, just ahead of the Army-Navy clashes there, and we'll have a little look. we're now going to look ahead to another major moment in Forces sport this year. The International Rugby Defence Competition is going to be an absolute cracker on these shores, filmed over the course of 3 weeks. Multiple venues, 8 of the very best women's international military rugby sides going head-to-head at multiple venues over that time. UCAF, the hosts, will be in Pool A, with France, the defending champions, in Pool B, and we'll now have a look at the other sides and who'll be joining them in those respective groups. And we're honoured to be joined today by the chairman of UK Armed Forces Rugby, Air Vice Marshal Ian Townsend, as well as Nick Glidden from the principal sponsor Vodafone for IDRC
Check
itself.
1, 2,
so
1, 2,
gentlemen,
3,
without further ado,
levels.
take it away, please.
Hello, me. Thank you very much. Number 5.
Number 5, which is Zambia, they'll be joining UCAF in Pool A.
And number 1.
Number 1, which is Australia, joining France in Pool B.
Number 4.
Number 4, that is Tonga, and they'll be joining UCAF in Pool A.
Number 3.
Number 3, which is Fiji, and they'll be joining France in Pool B.
Number 2.
Number 2, Ireland, and they'll be joining UCAF in Pool A.
And I'm hoping this is the last one. Number 6.
And number 6, we have another side yet to be confirmed. So those are the sides that'll be taking up the pools. UCAF in Pool A, France in Pool B. It's going to be an absolutely fantastic tournament. Host broadcaster BFBS will be live with us throughout the tournament itself. Thanks to you two gentlemen as well. And we look forward to that.
I think the UK Armed Forces games themselves are always incredible because you've kind of got the pinnacle of service sport and then put that into IDRC, which is kind of representative of the military kind of version of the Rugby World Cup, and to have it at home alongside the Women's Rugby World Cup, which is also in the UK, is just fantastic, and I think absolutely brilliant for women's rugby in the UK as well.
It's the second IDRC, and going from the last IDRC where we didn't quite make it to the final, we're really looking to push it this year and make sure we're in that final. We want to put an 80-minute performance in each game, and that's what's important, and if we do that, then we'll easily get to the final.
Each service brings something different to that pitch, and when we put it all together, it puts on just a fantastic display, so very excited.
We know Australia, like they will always bring it. Fiji, the offloading game, and also the tackles. It should be a real physical battle, but it'll be to the standard that we want, and it'll be a good competition.
I went and played out in New Zealand a couple of years ago in the IDRC there, and the rugby that other nationalities play is different, and it gives you that taste of something else and something a little bit different to the way that the English traditionally play rugby, and it was just such an incredible experience, and yeah, Fiji was tough.
I know that people are very keen to come and watch and support. Women's rugby is growing, and with the World Cup alongside it, it's pretty amazing. The more people that can come and watch, the better, and we're just showcasing not just Forces rugby, but women's rugby.
The fact that it's in such an important year, i.e. following the Women's World Cup, hopefully we can kind of gather that momentum, get people out. And to be honest, it's just getting people knowing what the Force is about, what Forces Rugby is about, and just having a platform to actually show what we can do. And again, hopefully that encourages people to either take up rugby or to join the Forces, and really that's kind of what we're here for, being advocates for that. Unless you play international rugby, you never get to play against different countries. So again, it's something that's really special about being able to play in those sorts of tournaments. So it'll be exciting, yeah. We obviously have to change how we play and how we adapt to different teams. So it's a challenge we're ready for.
Who was your first rugby hero or someone that encouraged you to play the game?
Sean Williams, actually.
Oh, brilliant. Yeah. Pretty apt then. That's good.
First rugby hero would be Portia Woodman, for female rugby players, seeing how New Zealand are they're just amazing. The person that encouraged me to play was Jo Yap. So I started playing at university and she was the head coach. So she's really encouraging.
Who would you say is the best singer in the group?
We've just had a bit of a rendition from Yaz today because she got fined, so yeah, that's kind of stuck in my mind. She's actually quite good.
Bex, she's new to the team. Yeah, she loves a rap, so if you get her in a bit of Nicki Minaj, she'll pull over that.
And who would you say is the worst if you were feeling particularly mean?
Probably Sarah Graham or something like that, I reckon. I'm not going to dog myself in, so I'm going to say Annie Forbes. I think it's a Welsh accent.
Who's your funniest teammate, would you say?
You know what, Lou? Lou's hilarious.
June?
She's dry humour, and it's really funny.
Just a funny take on everyday situations?
Yeah, if you just watch her, she'll just be doing something hilarious. Lou Langdon, yeah.
Why so?
Oh, she's just those witty one-liners, and she's proper northerner, and yeah, she's just fantastic.
Lou Langton, first squadron leader as well.
Oh, really? Yeah, just funny in general, or
in general, like everything she says and just the way she says, like she doesn't even mean to be funny, and she's just hilarious. But it's morale, so I think Evie's very funny. Yeah, she's a good one-liner. Right?
Who was or who is your first rugby hero?
Emily Starrett, 100%.
Probably Johnny Wilkinson. It has to be Pusher Woodman, of course.
It's got to be someone from the Welsh Rugby Union, but the men, so I'm going to say Gavin Ensign. I thought he was brilliant at 10.
Nice hair as well. Another position that you would like to play that's not yours right now?
Maybe flanker, see what the scrum's about, see what it's like.
I'd like to play 9 probably, that'd be my next choice, yeah. Maybe centre.
I wouldn't mind giving like back row a go properly. I think like that's a good position, you have a lot of free will.
First half of rugby we've had in this title decider in the Women's Inter-Service Championship. The Army leading 26 points to 12. A very busy time for sport here. BFBS Forces News, of course, looking at inter-service cricket next week as well. And plenty more to come today. We've got the men's clash later. RAF and Army, of course, in the men's competition, having both lost to the Navy. And congratulations to the Navy on their victory. But that's going to be an absolutely fascinating encounter between those sides, especially on this surface and a dry day that we have here in Gloucester. The RAF just getting a score there before half-time and keeping them in the hunt. And they'll be saying to hang in there. Sophie Benevent being sin-binned just before half-time as well. And so that player advantage utilised by the Royal Air Force, and a Lucy Nye try there too. And Rose Dixon alongside. Well, it's been enthralling stuff so far from both teams, end to end. Tough to take your eyes off.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the RAF would have wanted more points, but I'm sure they will come out firing, and we know the Army, we've seen what they can do here. We've seen what they can do the last few weeks, so they're going to be wanting to put more points on the RAF and stopping them getting in, really.
Yeah, the Army looking to defend their title. Those scenes last year of hoisting the trophy at Kingsholm, they'll be wanting to repeat that, and the Royal Air Force wanting to repeat what they did in 2019 and winning the inter-services just a few years ago. Hard to believe, really, it's 6 years ago. But here we are in 2025, and all to play for in this second half for the title. And Evie Longworth on the score of a lovely try against the Navy at Northampton. And Daisy Aspinall, what a game she has had as she enters the RAF full, the England under-20 player. And that lovely try today. And that burn of pace as well. But the RAF bringing even more pace on as well. Evie Longworth on in the scrum cap on this near side as Courtney Pursglove kicks us off. And proceedings begin again in this second half. RAF looking for a quick ball here, and Fahey looking to put the boot in. And that ball hovering up Gloucester sky, and Pursglove, well, she's taken down in the end by Orla Proctor, but a very slippery customer trying to get through those gaps. Komatai. Mullen sensing a bit of a quick RAF defence up, and well, Brooks has just lost that in the tackle. And Forbes getting that back, and the ball going forward once again, but first from the RAF side. But, Morris there just getting a bit of attention herself. The scrum forms on the 22. And picking up where they left off, really, with that tempo as well in the first half, coming into the second. As we see Holly Beacom on there for the Army at tight head. And the Army trying to wheel that scrum round. And Johnson under pressure there at the back.
Substitution for the Army with number 7, Sam West, replaced by number 18, Holly Beacom.
Holly Beacom just bolstering that front row, with Benevent having been off. The ball goes in from now. Getting out to Morris here, and well, that's fantastic again from Jade Mullen.
Yeah, Jade is someone who is just brilliant in the contact, you know, not someone you want to run into. Just got a fantastic tackle on her, and yeah, kind of really slowed that play down for them. But a lovely carry there by Annie Forbes. I am told that Annie's name isn't actually Annie, but I'm not going to insult her by trying to pronounce what it actually is.
Well, I know what it is, and I'm not sure whether she wants me to say on air in case I do mess it up. But yes, Annie, another player, just like Jade, as you were saying, you wouldn't want to try and take down. She's just getting a bit of attention there. She's always going into those contact areas at about 100 miles an hour as Ray Metters goes up the field for the Army. And Komatai, well, she's through the middle once again, and Fahy, a lot of work to do here. Trying to cut back inside, and brilliant stuff from the number 8. What a game she has had so far, and what a game the British Army has had.
Yeah, you can't argue with that. I mean, the speed, the power, the footwork, like, it's just fantastic. Just fantastic. One day I'd love to see her in the centres. For UCAF, though, not against us, I should add.
Just to clarify, and coming from an experienced centre, I wouldn't expect to hear anything less. Yeah, brilliant once again from the Army. And there's no let up here really in that Army attack. And similarly to what we saw at Allianz Stadium, they've options everywhere. They have support runners everywhere. And they're finding space everywhere. The Royal Air Force under the pump again. 31 points to 12. The Army lead. And Purse Glove hoping to make it 33. As the sun beams down at the home of Gloucester Rugby. Yeah, she slots it over. 33 points to 12, the Army leads. As Bex Wright comes on the field for the Royal Air Force. Annie Forbes just receiving some attention there, clutching her shoulder. And hopefully all right. And RAF under pressure here really to take it to the Army now and try and make a dent in that scoreline.
Lovely little carry there from Heidi.
The ball just being knocked forward, and Gilmore trying to clean up, but the ref blows his whistle. And it'll be an RAF put in.
That's unfortunate for Millie Williams, but happens to the best of us. She's got all sorts on her mind, thinking about trying to kick, thinking about catching the ball, thinking about where she's going to put it. So those things do happen, unfortunately. But yeah, looking forward to seeing what the RAF can do with this in this area.
Not for the first time in this match. The RAF get an opportunity after an Army score. Johnson looking to pick up and to go blind here. Getting it out. Some of her pack.
Yeah, Sarah Graham-Jenkins doing really well organising in that outer field as well.
And being absolutely dumped by Jade Mullen. And nevertheless, the RAF still have the ball. Sarah Bonner trying to make her way through the middle. And, spins out. Morris and Army doing well just to push them back. But spotting a bit of space, and I think that did go back, maybe dropped by Sarah Bonner. Army trying to jackal it there.
Yeah, I think Lucy Nye may be thinking that Sarah Bonner would have been a little bit deeper than that. Just passed the ball behind her a little bit there, but fortunately it went backwards.
Yeah.
It looks like he's going to stop play here for a little bit.
Yeah, Sophie Benevent coming back on the pitch after her sin binning. Holly Beacom will come off. Much needed tight head support. Holly Beacom in the intervening period. And the RAF women just in the huddle at the moment, discussing their options. And Sam West coming back on the field too. The Army boosted back up to full complement as the medical staff make their way off the pitch. And the Waters brought back off the pitch, not least by Amy Cockayne, who's not lining out for the RAF today, but we saw her so recently doing brilliantly for Red Rose's side. The referee just waiting to make sure everyone's off the field. The ball just goes into touch there, around about halfway. Do, of course, let us know where you're watching from. We'd love to hear from you and read some of your comments out on our live stream here in Gloucester. Craig Tilley, the man who's been tasked with checking them out, so very soon we'll endeavour to read some more out from you, and it's great to have your company, it really is. And great that the British Army here looking to do something great as well. Pursglove inside, Pursglove looking to use that pace and that sidestep, handing off Kim Grundy, and Pursglove for the line. Another British Army try, and the number 15, she's been electric in recent months, and she is yet again.
Yeah, fantastic work. That all started from Jade Mullen. She took the contact, got her arms free, looked for that little offload and put Courtney through a gap, and that's exactly where Courtney wants to be. Give her a little bit of space, and she's very difficult to defend, and a fantastic handoff for the boot as well.
Fantastic, the ball in hand as we've seen in recent times, and off the boot as well. Well, do keep those comments coming in. Craig, you've been having a look at some of them recently as well. Who have we heard from?
Yes, well, thank you to everybody who's been sending in your comments today. Helen Forbes on YouTube says, watching from South Wales, come on RAF. Annie's family, of course, Annie Forbes playing for the RAF. And also Jim Gracie. Jim and Gracie's supporting Freya Gracie from Rose today, of course, for the RAF as well. Peter Candlin, watching from Washington DC, have fun all posties. Thank you for joining us. And also Kaz Pursglove also says, please can you give a shout out to Courtney Pursglove's little sister Emmy, cheering from home, and Dad loving the match. Well, thank you for coming along with us. Keep those comments coming on the Forces YouTube channel. And Si?
Thank you very much, Craig. Yeah, timely there with those mentions of players' families. Courtney Pursglove's family watching on, and Pursglove with a brilliant score, and adding those 2 points as well to get the British Army into the 40 range. 40 points to 12 they lead at Kingsholm, this title decider, and the Army firmly in control at the moment. What can the RAF do here to get some momentum back? Fahey looking out wide, and Kim Grundy on that far wing looking to chip it over the top. The ball just bouncing forward, but Pursglove fairly happy with the room she's got and finding more space again. And putting that ball across the field. And Orla Proctor back to Evie Longworth. It's Beck's right getting in the act there, but ball just spilling out and going into Army hands. And Komatai just tripping over Sam West there, unfortunately. Hopefully West is okay. And Williams is herring after this, and well, Grundy trying to put the boot in and missing it. Karis Morris picking that up. Oh, Longworth here. Johnson bundle. It's another thumping hit from Jade Mullen. Much in the mould of a Johnny Wilkinson, a player who's not afraid to get involved defensively, even in the 10 shirt. I say even in the 10 shirt. Greatest respect to our fly half friends.
Daisy Fahey with a box kick.
A lovely thing to see.
Lovely stuff. This was a really exciting couple of phases of play, like very back and forth, but some exciting rugby to be seen.
Bent there. Just running into Becca to Filippo. And Ray Meshers, special day for her. It's a special day so far for her team. And Batley there, not quite within range for a swan dive as she did at Allianz Stadium, but moving the ball forward nonetheless. And Williams through the middle, looking on her left-hand shoulder, and that's fantastic stuff. Jade Mullen here, Army skipper, and diving over the line and just asserting the dominance here being shown by the Army.
Yeah, fantastic support from Jade. She's put Millie through that gap, followed her on her inside. Great vision from Millie. She's looked left and right and seen Jade there. Picked the right option, and Jade's gone through. So lovely phase of play, and like I say, Jade Mullen everywhere.
Yeah, she's been instrumental today, leading from the front, Jade Mullen. One of those players for whom when she speaks, you listen, and when she plays, well, her whole team follows her. That's fantastic stuff from the fly half, both in defence firstly, and then showing what she can do with a bit of gas too. Seeing Chantel Miller coming out now for the British Army, as the conversion attempt is good from Pursglove, and it's now a thoroughly dominant score now. 47 points to 12, the Army lead. And just under half an hour here to play in Kingsholm. And Wilmore coming on there in the front row for the Royal Air Force.
Yeah, Danica comes on bringing an absolute wealth of knowledge. She's been around service rugby and civilian rugby for a long time, so she'll definitely bring some of that knowledge onto the pitch today.
Yeah, ball just pulled a little, that kick from Williams. Still getting a bit of a gain, but the RAF won't be too unhappy with that.
No, I think, you know, from Millie's point of view, you want to get it off the pitch. You want to kind of reduce that pressure. Yes, you want it to go a little bit further, but as long as it's off the pitch and you're not under too much pressure, just giving it straight to the RAF in open play, then she'll be relatively okay with that.
Ball comes in and back to Tyler Lewis. Bonner again, has been very busy today, Sarah Bonner.
Yeah, absolutely. You can see just she wants that ball every phase if she could. And absolutely no problems with grabbing that and running straight into the contact area. So yeah, very key player for the RAF.
A penalty for the RAF as well. Daisy Fahey seeing her angle here into touch. Get that line out working again. They're all Air Force, and let's see what they can do this time.
Yeah, that's a nice kick from Daisy, and like you say, a little bit closer to the try line, a little bit closer to where they want to be. So we'll see what they do in the line-up.
Yeah, Wilmore, as you say, so much experience. I'll go over to offer her thoughts. Bonner once more, the clean take. And Johnson here, flying through that centre part of the pitch. Bonner screaming for it quickly there. And quickly to Wilmore this time, looking to use her power to great effect. And Nye trying to get that ball quickly, seeing her forwards lining out outside her. Bonner again.
Yeah, every other phase at the moment, Sarah Bonner.
Beck's right. Taking that ball closer to the whitewash. And Fahey, lovely to Orla Proctor, getting close here, Orla Proctor. Quinn's player. Oh, and that's lovely from Lucy Nye. And what looked like a fairly high challenge there.
Don't think Lucy was too happy about that. There was an Army player on the floor right by her feet, so she's probably looking for advantage, not rolling away. However, she did get caught, maybe a little bit of a high tackle, and they've got the penalty advantage anyway.
A wonderful opportunity here for the Light Blues. But, ref just calling them back. And resetting again.
I think again there you can see Lucy's passion and Lucy's fire to just go quickly. As I've said before, try and catch them on the back foot as they're retreating, but the ref wasn't having it, unfortunately.
And Langton again for the line-outs. Sarah Bonner has been such a steady option for Scotland and for the Royal Air Force today. But
yeah, absolutely. Interesting that they didn't lift her this time, but if I was the Army, I'd be expecting them to lift Sarah Bonner every time. So, smart move from the RAF there, just to pick a different option.
Yeah, not quite working out though. With, the Army getting the ball back here, and another exit for them.
Yeah, again, it's the RAF are probably going to be kicking themselves at this point. They've had opportunities to convert into some points, but they've not been able to take them. Still a good amount of time on the clock. I'm sure they're going to be wanting to just knuckle down and get as many points on the board as they can at this point.
Pearson with the put in. Moving that back to Williams again. And only as far as Evie Longworth. The 22 shirt today.
Really good spatial awareness there from Evie. It's so difficult when you know your foot is near the touchline, but you're having to look at the ball to go for the catch. So very good spatial awareness there, and just took a few steps in to keep it in field, which is allowing the RAF to play right on the 22 of the Army.
You're looking to snipe that ball, but the RAF still have it going through the phases. Johnson back to Fahey, and that's, well, that was Mullen up in a flash there, and just catching Fahey. Time for the players to get some water on board and take a bit of a breather.
Yeah, the sun's come out. I can't imagine they're not absolutely boiling at the moment, but I'm really unfortunate for Daisy Fahey here. You just saw Jade come flying out of the line, and just looks like she's caught Daisy there.
As Fahey receives a bit of medical attention, time to hear from some more of you, wherever you may be around the world. Craig Tilley's been looking at the comments.
Yes, thank you, Simon. Well, thank you very much to everybody who's been sending in your comment on the Forces News YouTube channel and Facebook. Oscar Quiros says, watching from Golfito, Costa Rica. Well, thank you for joining us. Hope it's nice weather as it is here in Kingsholm. And Dave Hudson, proud brother here, watching his sister once again mastermind a great Army performance. Well done, Sarah Mitchelson, head coach. Of course, fantastic performance from the Army today. And Mark Holmes, watching from Buckinghamshire. Shout out to the Marlow ladies team on tour, watching the games at Kingsholm. Look out for the traffic cones in the crowd. And yes, I can confirm there are women dressed up as traffic cones here in the crowd here at Kingsholm. So keep your comments coming. Thank you for those who have commented so far, and we'll give you a shout out later in the game. Simon.
Thank you, Craig, and well done on the pronunciation. Much appreciated, as always. And yeah, great to get those comments. Yeah, great to get such international following as well. This game, which is loved by so many around the world. And a game of... Well, it's a fascinating game here at the moment in Kingsholm. Lucy and I just talking to the referee. Jane Millen up quickly on Daisy Fahu's up again, which is great to see. And just being caught a little in the face. At time in this early afternoon sunshine for the players to reset. A bit of water on board, a bit of a breather. A slightly cooler day than we've had recently, that's for sure. And a bit of a breeze as well. Something just, I guess the players are keeping in mind, Rose Dixon as well, when it comes to those exit kicks and so many of those little kicks over the top.
Yeah, definitely. And like I said before, on a pitch like this, with a good bounce, that ball will absolutely fly, for example. And it's those kicks are absolutely pivotal.
Well, speaking of kicks, Hannah Gilmore trying to deal with that bouncing ball. And now she's looking to use her pace. And, caught well by Morris. And, Comatai again, and Mullen, and Langton, Ray Metters, I beg your pardon, and Heidi Silcox. She's been involved plenty with ball in hand today, Heidi Silcox. And she herself only a couple of caps off 40. Ray Metters, of course, achieving that feat, the first in women's or men's inter-service rugby to do so, which is absolutely brilliant. And 40 caps to the British Army.
Yeah, there's some, like I say, there's some absolutely incredible talent on the pitch, and an awful lot of talent that is to have 40 caps, to have done this 40 times is amazing work. And there's a few really high cap players on that squad. Just shows kind of the knowledge that they can bring in for those around them and for the new women coming through. So yeah, they've got a lot there.
Lucy Nye from the back of the ruck. And Beck's right, taking that ball in. She's had plenty to do since she came on. Fahey putting that ball up into the sky and just bouncing back awkwardly over the head of Courtney Pursglove, but putting the boot in here and trying to get some of her Army support runners onto it. Fahey again, stepping inside very nicely, Daisy Fahey. And finding a bit of space here. Let's see where the bounce of the ball takes us. And Miller. Lucy Nye.
Some more great spatial awareness there. Lucy Nye with not a toe over the line, but very, very close to touch, and just keeping that ball safe and letting the RAF reset.
Back over halfway now, the RAF again. Seeking for an opportunity to get close to the line and get a third try in this match. Now ball's, well, it's gone straight out, so back to the point of where it was kicked.
Yeah, not what Lucy would have wanted, but I think the RAF have got the right idea and are wanting to play in the right parts of the pitch. You know, you want to put the pressure on and kind of ask the Army to play out of their own half, out of their own 22.
Well, the whole change in the front row for the Army. Batley, Metters and Benevent coming off. King, Wilson and Beacom in their place. Holly Beacom, of course, who came on when Benevent was in the sin bin earlier on. Coming back onto the pitch now, Holly Beacom. That's well taken.
Lovely work from Batley and Metters. Again, stalwarts of Army Rugby, really fantastic players, putting an absolute shift today.
And congratulations once again to Ray Metters on that feat. 40th cap. And full of as much pride as the first time she lined out for the Army, and that's very good from Wilson. Those handoffs. Lucy Nyes felt the full force of Army defence and attack in the last 20 minutes. And Williams, first receiver, and putting the boot in again, trying to bisect Morris and Longworth. Left boot from Morris, but Purslove's got it. Fahy calls for the mark. And as we get over the hour mark here in Kingsholm, I guess picking certain players that you're impressed with, Rose Dixon, is difficult on a day like this when there's been so much brilliance across the entire field.
Yeah, absolutely. I think today for the RAF, Tyler Lewis has played really well. Some really big carries, really strong in the support, really strong in defence. Obviously, Sarah Bonner again played fantastically. Daisy Fahy's boot has been brilliant. And then, Army side, Lauren Brooks, incredibly strong carrier. Jade Mullen, just the puppet master, has just been fantastic. And obviously, Combs with her many tries of the day. So it's been a really tough game and fantastic to watch from both sides. Both sides have a group of fantastic players, and some really good rugby has been put on today.
Well, we'll get the thoughts of the Army camp. Kath Brazier is down pitch side with them at the moment.
Okay. Head coach Sarah Mitchelson, of course, of the Army. I know you're never 100% happy. I'm sure there are things you can be picking out of the Army's game, but pretty impressive scoreline.
Yeah, I'm happy with the scoreline. We did, especially after the first half. Sorry.
I have a habit of coming up here and them scoring tries.
Yeah, if you could. So especially after the first half, we weren't particularly happy with our first half performance, and it's just because our mistakes allowed them in the game, which we seem to have taken out now, and now we've capitalised when we have had the ball and put the points under the post, so which I asked for at half time. So yeah.
And you've got a good range across, good range of try scorers. Comatai, obviously, on the getting Jade Mullen on the, and Courtney so confident and so reliable with the boot as well.
Yeah, it's really good to see Courtney in that space. Actually, she's in training all the time. She's all that footwork, and it's nice to see her actually put it in a game. And the same with comms. Like we'll say, everyone make sure they've got the same shirt as bibs when we're doing training. Same bib as what comms is wearing when we're doing training. So yeah, it's nice to see that all of her efforts could go in. And Jade always just gets to score a try because it's all like she puts so much work in. You don't always see it, and so it's nice to see her put one under the post.
Just a couple of notable mentions. They're all brilliant in their own way, but Chantal Miller, last game today, I believe, for the Army, and also Ray Metters with 40th cap, I believe, which is record-breaking, I think, in the inter-services books.
Yeah, she was already the most capped player, but now she's now 40 caps, which no one's ever got to before, which is absolutely record-breaking, and she's not finished yet, I don't think. And Chantal has played a lot of seasons for a lot of different, and been through a lot of different rotations, been to a lot of places with us, been to lots of historic moments, and she's been, she's worn that shirt with pride every time. And she's put in a good shift, definitely shirt filled, and and she'll still be a welcome with us, obviously, anytime.
Just finally, the game's not over yet, but you guys are looking pretty strong. Hopefully for you it will be another Army triumph. Is it still as sweet every year?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. The nerves before this game is unreal. I don't think you get it in for any other team, because this one game the pressure's all down to this one game. So every time, it doesn't matter if we won by 1 point or won by 50. It doesn't make it any different. It feels just as good.
Cool. Thanks very much, Hadi. We'll see you in a bit.
You're welcome. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Kath. Thoughts of Hadi there, Sarah Mitchelson, and great to hear that there's more left for Ray Metters. It's 40 caps and counting, which is great, as the RAF have an opportunity here in the Army 22. Orla Proctor, what can she do? And ball just going forward there. So an unfortunate one for the Royal Air Force. And a couple of changes as well. Tyler Lewis and Lou Langton coming off the field. Jenna Lee Hughes and Yaz Sur coming on in their place.
Yeah, well worked for Lou. I think congratulations on a fantastic rugby career in the Royal Air Force. her last game today. Yeah, just a lot to reflect on. I imagine she's probably quite emotional. I know I would be, but yeah, just a massive congratulations to her for a fantastic rugby career.
Absolutely, yeah, brilliant stuff, Lou Langton. And she'll be missed, I'm sure, by many.
Yeah, definitely. I'm sure she'll still be around in RAF camps and the likes. It's hard to stay away. So yeah, I'm sure she'll still be knocking around and we'll still see her.
Yeah, plenty of wisdom and advice, of course, to offload to future players and those, of course, coming through, and indeed those experienced as well.
Yeah, I think that's something that's really fantastic about service rugby is we've all got different levels of experience, but a whole different breadth and width as well. So we all have something to bring, and you know, even the most experienced of players will be getting advice from other people on the pitch. So it's kind of one of the joys of service rugby, really.
The ball just bobbling over the line there, and RAF trying to take it quickly, but RAF and officials tell them otherwise. Having a bit of a conference here, the Royal Air Force, picking through their options. Sarah Bonner, of course, right in the centre of that. Speaking of wisdom and experience, that which she can impart on her fellow players. Oh, and that's beautiful from Sarah Bonner. That short line out and came racing through the gap there, but not quite working out.
Yeah, unfortunate if that had come off. Yeah, it would have been absolutely fantastic. And like you say, it just proves the point. You know, Sarah Bonner's such a key feature within that line out. And yeah, can do it all.
Another scrum. The tempo of the game just being pegged back a little bit here as we approach the final 10 minutes. It's maybe no bad thing for some of the players who want to regain a bit of energy and go again.
Yeah, it's tough in a game like this with a score line like this, knowing you've only got 10 minutes left. It's a really tough position to be in. I just want to see the RAF come out firing, and for the sake of some very good rugby, you know, the Army not to let up just because they're 47-12 up with 10 minutes to go.
Yeah, Purse glove there. Receiver once again. Daisy Fahey trying to jackal that. The Army still have it. And Lauren Brooks. It's nicely moved from Williams to Jade Mullen, her skipper. But no, that's gone forward. An RAF put into the scrum.
Yeah, again, that's a case of kind of high risk, high reward. Jade's usually very good at getting her hands away and getting a clean ball in the offload, but when it doesn't go that way, sometimes it does, you know, result in a knock-on like that. So unfortunate, but we've seen it work so many times before for them.
And a bit of a change, a couple of changes for the Army. Is that Lauren Brooks and Hannah Gilmore have gone off, and Meg Fisher and Jokoveti Sau have come on in their place. And the changes coming through, getting those fresh legs on the pitch as well. And seeing from an Army perspective if they can add anything further to that scoreline, but the Royal Air Force here wanting to see if they can add a third try, but the ball coming around the corner, and Komatai once again trying to keep it in, but the ball just going into touch.
Yeah, unfortunate. If that kicker found a little bit of grass or a bit more air, then potentially the RAF could have seen themselves with some really good game line made. Probably saw it end up in Com's hands and scramble to defend that, but yeah, it looks like it will still be an RAF line-up.
Trying to set up the maul there. The Royal Air Force. The ball goes to ground. Nye marshalling her forwards. She's got Bonner here in support.
Yeah, just again, Bonner, a player with Danica on her shoulder. nice trying to organise. Bonner saying I'm here if you need me, and that's exactly what you need, especially when you're under a bit of pressure as a 9 or a 10 and you're trying to get things organised. Sometimes you need someone to just say, I'm here, I'm ready, just give me the ball and we'll go, and then we'll set it up for the next phase. And yeah, the two of them have done exactly that.
Very impressive stuff from them. And just a bit of an interesting formation here with Morris in the backfield, Fahy first receiver with De Filippo in the centre.
That's lovely.
That's the way to push someone back.
Yeah, great technique from Daisy Fahy there.
Oh, and there's a bit of space opening up once again. Jade Mullen, what can she do? And getting that ball out, not quite getting into the hands of Meg Fisher. Just come on the field, that would have been a great start to her tenure in this match.
Yeah, again, unlucky there. Maybe could have done with passing before the contact there. They had the overlap, but Jade's such a strong runner and will easily draw a defender in. And like you say, she does do a good offload, but it didn't come off this time.
Yeah, De Filippo in that number 12 position now for the RAF. Fahy 10, Morris in the backfield. It's very good from the Army pack. And it's earned them the penalty as well. Such power in there from the red shirts. And a rather threatening area for them to be as well.
Yeah, definitely not left long on the clock either. I think they're just going to want to try and get that final try in. That, there you go, sort of finish the game on that high for them. But we'll see how they get on here.
Amy Carr's come off. Amber Starr-Palmer moving into that midfield position. That ball's gone fairly long and a little bit loose, but Komatai again just wanting to run all game here. And that number 8 shirt, Pearson moving out. Williams trying to take route 1 and taking a few RAF defenders with her as well. And just inches away now, the Army. But well, the RAF, I thought they'd stolen that one, and not to be. It's another penalty for the Army. Looking to break into the 50s here at Kingsholm.
Yeah, looks like the referee's turned time off, so he's probably going to be having a word with Lucy Nye. Got to be really careful in this area about giving away penalties, because it doesn't take a lot for a referee to reach for their pocket. So yeah, look, penalty for the Army here. Be interested to see what they're going to do next.
Well, it's at this stage as well of the game, Rose Dixon, to put you in the hot seat. And as you've said, there have been performances right across the pitch. Absolutely brilliant from both sides. But to ask for your player of the match, the player that's stood out in this titanic tussle between these sides.
Yeah, like you say, a fantastic game, and I think there's been players from both sides that have played really well. Lucy Nye and Daisy Fahy absolutely pivotal for the RAF, as is Sarah Bonner. And again, Jade at that kind of playmaker position, but I think my player of the match today would absolutely have to be Komatai.
Malakalu Komatai, number 8 for the Army. Brilliant performance from her today. And a hat-trick as well. 3 tries coming in.
Yeah, no, she just played brilliantly today, but a lot of the girls out there have. Heidi Silcox played fantastically as well, so it's always such a hard decision to make, but yeah, she has just been fantastic.
Tricky one to make, but thank you for doing so. And the right choice, I would say, as well. Brilliant from Komatai. Yeah, such warm applause for Komatai and such admiration for what those here in attendance have seen. Great stuff from her.
Yeah, absolutely. She's an absolute workhorse, and having played with her a little bit at UCAF, great person, great on the pitch, and like I say, strong, powerful, and an absolute workhorse. So very well deserved.
Well, and just putting that kick in there, and Orla Proctor running across the field. And Williams and the Army have taken it quickly there. And Palmer trying to run across the face of those outer defenders. Just taken down by Longworth. Otherwise she was through there, Amber Star Palmer.
Yeah, look, I'm a big fan of a tap and go. I like to keep it quick. I like to play on top. But it's exactly what you've seen Lucy Nye trying to do earlier in the game, is that tap just to keep the game flowing and to try and catch the other team on the back foot, and they've made gain line with it.
If only all of those tap and goes that you do, Rose Dixon, at training are captured by camera, but not to be.
No,
not all of them. Yeah,
I have not forgot about that yet.
We'll be forgiven one day. Yeah, just approaching the final moments, final seconds of this game. What a performance from the British Army in defending their title, inter-service title, and a yellow card here. Just to rub salt into the wound for the Royal Air Force. They've played their part, they've had their moments, they've had plenty of opportunities as well. But a combination, I guess, of that Army defence and the Army attack on the break as well, and counter-attack, well, that's just stymied their progress. But one more opportunity here for the Army. And as Yaz Sura goes off, well, the Army will be wanting to put one more try on that score and get in, make their half century in this match as well. Ball goes fairly long and the maul comes out. And who is it once again? But Komatai around the side. And Miller looking to the forwards, looking to move this ball quickly. And Holly Beacom using her power then and getting over the line as she grounded it. The ball's been held up there. Good work from the RAF defence. And the referee calling time, and what's been a phenomenal performance from the British Army defending their inter-service title. Huge scoreline here at Kingsholm, 47 points to 12. Red Shirts players, those who've come off the pitch, coming back on and celebrating with their teammates. And some players jumping into the arms there of those teammates. Well, it's just been highly impressive. And a congratulations to them too.
Yeah, absolutely. Some real moments of greatness from the RAF today. They'll be disappointed they didn't convert as many of their opportunities into points. I've said it before, credit where credit's due. The Army are a very good setup, very good side, and Huddy does a fantastic job as their head coach. But yes, I think the RAF will be disappointed. I'm sure Sean will have a few things to say about that as their head coach. But there were some moments of magic today from the RAF. So I hope that they do take that away, and that's something that they can build on for next year.
And you mentioned Huddy there, Sarah Mitchelson, Army head coach. I mean, I guess the sign of a team that's used to winning so many games and is used to raising those standards for them, you know, those that they set for themselves. is whenever their head coach, and also Jade Mullen as skipper, quite frequently says there's many things we want to work on here. We're not fully satisfied with this.
I think that's something that's really great about Jade and Huddy both, is, you know, that they've won the championship for the last couple of years, but we'll still stand there and say we have many things that we want to improve upon, and we still want to make ourselves better. You know, they're not happy just to sit in it. They want to continue to grow and continue to thrive, and that is fantastic for Army Rugby. It's fantastic for women's rugby in the forces, and I think it is really important, and yeah, it's nice that they're very aware of that.
Yeah, we were treated to a glut of tries. And the RAF, as you say, playing their part. They'll be frustrated with moments in that game, but they'll know, as you've alluded to, the opposition they've come up against today. The Army fully deserving their win today, and their title as well. And Annika Willis there, who played such a huge part in that campaign, just walking on her crutches and joining her teammates, and some of the some young family members as well being lifted up, the Army players, and great to see that respect, Rose Dixon, as well, which we know is there right across the services too.
Yeah, definitely. Like I say, a lot of us have all played with each other before for UK Armed Forces. It's a weird position to be put in, but you kind of, once you finish a game, you come down off of it and realise, like, oh, you know, we'll probably be on the pitch together on the same team in a couple of weeks. So there is an incredible amount of mutual respect, because we all live a very similar life in the fact that we balance work with this rugby, and being in the forces, it's not just work, it's being abroad and it's operational activities, so it's very difficult. So there's a real sense of mutual understanding and mutual respect that's involved in forces rugby.
Yeah, it's amazing as you say those words, mutual understanding. And here we have Kath Brazier down on the pitch with Komatai and Mullen alongside.
Okay, so here I am, winning captain Jade Mullen, and I've been told to say player of the match. Just comms, says it all. I mean, first of all, let's come to you, comms, because I mean, a sort of player of the match winning performance, but also getting on the try list several times. I mean, you absolutely ran through the RAF events on a number of occasions. You must be so proud of you, but also your side.
Yeah, I'm so happy the girls really work hard. If it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be able to score that try. So yeah, just a big thank you to the girls. Yeah, they really work hard today.
Jade, her name does come up a lot, just not always for try scoring, but just the strength, you know, in the pack and everything like that. So well earned, I think, over the season.
Yeah, absolutely earned. I've had the honour of seeing Komatai grow as a player over the past 3 seasons, starting in the 7 circuit, on the wing, may I add, and now back row. She's amazing, like a workhorse. If you want someone to carry hard, you want someone to be there on your shoulder, she's the girl.
I said to Huddy earlier, does it feel sweeter every year, even though you do have a certain level of dominance, but I know you work really hard to maintain that. Is it still as sweet every year to win the inter-services?
Obviously, it's always really good to win. I ain't going to lie, I was nervous coming into this. I know the RAF are growing. They've got Sean as head coach. She's amazing. She coached UCAF. I left UCAF pretty scared. Yeah, the RAF bring it. Like, they've got some talented players, and I'm really proud, like, to play against them, and obviously sometimes get to play with them in the UCAF shirt. So yeah, like, they brought it. It was physical, and like, I'm always grateful for the challenge. But I'm really proud of the girls today.
And Coms, how do you take it on from this performance? I mean, I don't want to look. We're celebrating this season, but hopefully you'll be around for a long time to come.
Yeah, maybe again next season. Yeah. So I'm so happy. This is like my first starting shirt for this season for inter-services. I'm so happy. Yeah, I've learned so much on the way, and yeah, Jade taught me a lot of things.
Well done, girls. Congratulations, inter-services.
Thank you very much.
No, fantastic stuff there from Jade Mullen and Manakalu Komatai. Just wonderful respect shown as well. And nice words for the RAF, and very nice words for her number 8 today, Komatai. As you say, Rose, just a threat everywhere, and not just using that physicality, but those side steps too.
Yeah, I've said it a few times now. Quick, powerful, strong. She's got the side step, and she's got the speed. So just fantastic. And what I loved about that interview is you know, she's just so humble, and she clearly loves it, and to give great Jade the credit of saying how much she's taught her, I think is fantastic. And she's just a fantastic player, a fantastic person. Yeah, she's brilliant.
Maybe at the end of the Cinder Service Championship for the women. Of course, we've got the men's match coming up very shortly, 3 o'clock UK time. We look ahead, of course, as we said, to the IDRC in a few months. But what's next for you personally? I mean, you've had a busy spell of it recently, haven't you?
Yeah, so me personally, I'm head coach of Royal Navy Sevens, so looking forward to taking the girls out over summer to play some tournaments. And just for us, it's really about the recruitment, so we want as many girls in, come and play some sevens, come and have some fun in the sun, hopefully. And then as we go on, I've got a fixture with UK Armed Forces up north of Military vs Cancer. So yeah, busy summer ahead, having had a busy last couple of months, but really excited and looking forward to developing some sevens for the Royal Navy as well.
Well done for the part you play, not only with the sevens and moving into that coaching role as well, the part that you played in this tournament with UCAF as well, as we look ahead to the IDRC. And these players just, appreciating what they've done on the Army side of things, the Royal Air Force as well, as they pose for some pictures there, the red shirts. And, what a time of it we've had in this tournament. It's been absolutely brilliant. The trophy lift will be at half-time in the men's match. As I say, 3 o'clock UK time. Don't go anywhere. We'll bring that to you in a little while. So we look ahead to that. And thank you for all joining us in this women's clash. Congratulations to the British Army, and we'll see you very, very shortly.